Disney Speedstorm's roadmap has been updated, and we have a ton of new and exciting details about the upcoming Pirates of the Caribbean and Nightmare Before Christmas seasons. For those who are unaware, there was a roadmap released for Disney Speedstorm a few months ago that outlined a lot of different information about seasons 8, 9, and 10 that I made a whole video on, and pretty much what it revealed is that season 8 was going to be Inside Out themed, season 9 was going to be Pirates of the Caribbean themed, and season 10 was going to be the Nightmare Before Christmas themed. However, there were a lot of vague details. For example, it said there'd be like a bonus racetrack for Season 9, and people were unsure if that meant we were getting a completely new racetrack in Season 9, if they were expanding the Pirates racetrack, and we also didn't know how many characters would be joining each season. But now Disney Speedstorm has updated the roadmap, and we have a ton of new information about the upcoming seasons, as well as some more glimpses at the expansion to the Pirates of the Caribbean racetrack, and I'm going to be covering all of it in today's video. So let's hop right into it, starting with the new Season 9 portion of the roadmap. So if we take a look here, obviously Season 9 still Pirates of the Caribbean themed, still releasing in late summer, but now we know exactly the details of how many characters we are getting and what the racetrack is sort of going to look like. So in Season 9, we are getting 4 new seasonal racers, as well as 2 additional mid-season characters. We are getting a Pirates Life racetrack expansion, as well as a bonus race environment, which is really exciting. That's a lot of content for what a lot of people were passing off as a filler season, and I'm personally really excited about this. For one, the thing that stands out the most to me is the fact that a Pirates Life racetrack is just getting expanded upon, which means all of the different teasers that we have seen and all the riddles, like I covered a couple days ago, the new glimpse of the Season 9 racetrack, which we thought was going to be a second Pirates track, is actually just an expansion to the first one, which is incredibly exciting because it means the Pirates track is probably going to be the biggest environment in Disney Speedstorm now and have a ton of new variations because, I mean, we'll get into all the different pictures later, but it's going to be insane. The Pirates racetrack is going to be so cool next season, and I'm really excited for that. On top of that, we are getting a bonus race environment, which could be a lot of different things. Once again, the RB symbol is still next to it, so I think it's going to be another racetrack similar to RB's Arena, where it isn't themed after any specific Disney property, but rather it's just like Disney Speedstorm themed and sort of builds up the world of like how Disney Speedstorm takes place in an arcade and things like that. I think it's going to be like that, which is mildly disappointing because I think the biggest draw of Disney Speedstorm is all of the really cool franchises and IP that they have in the game, and personally I'm not overly invested in the Disney Speedstorm IP and RB as a character and stuff like that. So if it does turn out that the racetrack coming next season is another RB's track, I'll be mildly disappointed. I would much prefer that we get racetracks for franchises that currently do not have one. For example, I think there is so much potential for a Walt Disney World racetrack that currently doesn't exist in game, or a Wally racetrack, or Oswald, or the Muppets, or there's a lot of these franchises that do not have tracks because they were released as mid-season franchises. So, and it is still possible they could add that bonus race environment. I'm fully just speculating that it is an RB's track. It could very well be a Walt Disney World track. We don't know, and we probably aren't going to know for another couple days until they start revealing some more information about Season 9. But once again, I really do think that it's probably going to be another RB's track. Especially because like a year ago at this point, back in like Season 2 during a Q&A, they said they were working on a second RB's track and we haven't heard anything about it since then, so it is very possible that it could have been cancelled, but I do think the racetrack coming next season is that RB's track that was talked about so long ago. But now let's get into the characters that are coming in Season 9. Obviously, we are getting 4 new seasonal characters, which means 4 additional Pirates of the Caribbean racers. So everyone who speculated that there might just be 3 and they were going to use Elizabeth and Jack to fill in some of those extra spots, that's not happening. We are going to have a 6-character Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. I have made my guess of the 4 racers several times, and I'm going to stick by it. I think we're getting Will Turner. I think he's guaranteed to be a lock. He's one of the OG 3 main characters from Pirates. surely he's being added to the game. I think Davy Jones, he's definitely the most iconic villain of all of the Pirates movies, super loved by fans. He's got to be coming to the game, right? I think Captain Barbossa, not only is he the villain of the first original Pirates movie, but he also appears in a lot of the later ones as well, so I think it's very likely we see him. And the fourth racer is a little up in the air, but they tend to try and add at least one female character per season, so I think it's very likely we'll see Tia Dalma. However, it could also be characters from the newer Pirates of the Caribbean movies or someone else entirely. I'm not too sure. It's just Tia Dalma is my personal pick. It's a character I would personally really love to see in the game. I think there's a ton of potential for abilities and stuff like that that they could do with Tia Dalma. You know, her whole voodoo thing. She just has a lot of cool abilities and stuff like that that they could easily translate into Disney Speedstorm. However, I think it is, you know, equally likely that it could be someone else, maybe someone from the newer Pirates movies. I'm just not too familiar with those characters as I haven't really watched those movies. I know I am a fake fan. And then we were getting two mid-season characters during the Pirates season, which is really interesting. If you asked me before, my guess would have been that we were only getting one seasonal or one mid-season character during the Pirate season, similar to the Little Mermaid season, how we only had one. And I was thinking it was probably going to be Miss Piggy to accompany Kermit, because for those who do not know, Miss Piggy was found in the files quite a long time ago alongside Kermit the Frog, and since then we have seen Kermit join the game, but not Miss Piggy. So I thought it'd be very likely that she comes to the game, especially because another little hint that made me think it was going to be Miss Piggy is D23 is this weekend. For those who don't know what D23 is, it's essentially just like a massive Disney convention where the Disney company talks about a ton of upcoming stuff. And there is a panel dedicated to just the Muppets and Miss Piggy, so I'm like, oh, it'd be really cool if Disney Speedstorm had an announcement during this panel. But you know, I still think that's a pretty likely theory, but obviously there will be another mid-season character alongside Miss Piggy, so maybe we see Miss Piggy and Fozzie the Bear or Gonzo or another super iconic Muppet, because there are a lot of them. However, it's just as likely it could just be two random characters. Snow White, I think, is a real possibility. She was found in the files. Snow White and the Evil Queen would be a great pairing, super cool mid-season duo, a lot of hype behind them. Obviously, the ones I want are Moana and Maui. Moana is by far my most wanted character in Disney Speedstorm. I cannot wait for the day that she will come, but there's really no evidence to back up Moana coming to the game other than the fact that it is still kind of summer, and pirates, Moana, similar to a pirate, ocean vibes, stuff like that. I don't know, but I really have no other theories. Let me know who you guys think the mid-season and seasonal characters for Season 9 is going to be in Disney Speedstorm. But overall, the updated roadmap for Season 9 has a lot of promising stuff. Not only are we getting a new racetrack entirely, but a big expansion to the Pirates track. It is a ton of exciting stuff. Now, before we move on to Season 10 and talk about The Nightmare Before Christmas, let's take a look at these pictures of the Pirates track very briefly. Obviously, we saw this one first, which sort of shows Ralph going through a cave, and it looks sick. It looks so cool. Obviously, this is when I thought it was going to be a completely separate Pirates track, which obviously we now know is not the case. And something really interesting to think about is, where is this going to be located on the current Pirates map? Because the vibes definitely look a lot different than how it does now. But personally, there's like a skull rock somewhere on the Pirates track, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I think it'd be really cool if you went through that skull and you ended up in this sort of cave that we see here. So that's my theory for this section of the racetrack. This next section, you can see sort of an underwater part. I think they could very well just expand like the back of the Pirates track towards the ocean, and instead of going from ship to ship, maybe you go like from a ship, then you splash down underwater, and then you appear on another ship. Or I think it's equally as likely that you go into this back section of the current Pirates track, you go underwater, and then you re-emerge in a completely different location that we haven't seen yet, somewhere represented in the Pirates franchise, like we see in these other two pictures. And then we have this one sort of near this water wheel tower kind of looking thing. And I think this could very well just be expanded upon in the back, sort of where the town is. Maybe you could go through the town in some sections and then appear at this little thing. However, like I said previously, I think it's also likely that, you know, you go underwater and then re-emerge in this new location that we see. But overall, all the concept art looks incredible. I am a sucker for pirates and tropical environments. Kauai and A Pirate's Life are probably my two favorite tracks in Disney Speedstorm. And so the fact that this one is getting expanded upon is really exciting to me. And personally, I cannot wait to see all the new variations and everything they do to this track. It's going to be super, super fun. But now let's move on to the Season 10 updated portion of the roadmap. You can see Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Super exciting. I am really hyped to see what the track for this franchise is going to look like. It's going to be So exciting. Now, the 4 racers for the Nightmare Before Christmas are kind of guaranteed. For those who do not know, during the Aladdin season, there was a leak where during one of the Aladdin events, the racers for the Nightmare Before Christmas actually appeared in game, and those 4 characters were Jack, Sally, Oogie Boogie, and Dr. Finkelstein. So I think it's pretty much guaranteed those are the 4 characters we will be getting for the Nightmare Before Christmas. The 2 mid-season racers, I would really like to see some spooky things get our Disney villain franchise moving up. I saw a theory that the Hocus Pocus sisters would be added, which would be really cool, but we're only getting 2 mid-season characters, and I think it'd be really weird to include 2 of them, but not the third, or just include one. I guess Winifred is more iconic than the other 2, so maybe just her and then another Disney villain. That is totally a possibility, but I'm not fully sold on the Hocus Pocus idea. I think maybe another year, another Halloween, it would be super cool, but there are a lot of iconic Disney villains. We still need Cruella in-game, we still need Maleficent, there's so many others that I just can't think of off the top of my head. There's a lot of Disney villains. There's a lot of really, really good ones. Personally, I would like to see Maleficent and Sleeping Beauty. I think they'd be a super cool, iconic Halloween duo. Not only do we get an iconic Disney princess, but also one of the best villains in all of Disney, in my opinion. But if they were to just add 2 villains like they did with Hades and Gaston, my votes would be for Maleficent and Cruella. I think they are the 2 most iconic ones that we have remaining still, and I would love to see them join the racing roster. But let me know what you guys think about all the characters and the race environments and the mid-season characters for Season 10. It's going to be a super hype time, and overall the updates to the roadmap just have me way more excited for the future of Disney Speedstorm. There's going to be so much content next season. Everyone was passing it off as a filler season, but I truly think this pirate season has the potential to be one of the best ones yet, and obviously the Nightmare Before Christmas has one that has been heavily requested for over a year at this point, and the fact that it is finally coming to the game in just a few short months is going to be super, super exciting, and I cannot wait to experience both of these seasons. But let me know what you guys think of the updated roadmap. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.